Good morning, students. How are you all? This is your English teacher from Apple Group of Schools. We are going to study about Oxford Progressive English 7, Grade 4, Unit 1, Elephants. We have discussed in our previous lecture about the story of elephant. The starting point of elephant was that there were the Burman people commanded by an unpleasant young man, and the man called Thakin. We have used different Burmese words. Tai, a house built on a tall poles or stilts. Seen Oak, the Burmese overseer under Mackay's command. Usi, plural uses, the elephant's handler or rider. Thakin, a term of respect used for addressing a man. This was a story of revenge. It was a fiction-based story. It was a story of an elephant, she-elephant, whose name was Shodo. She was taking revenge about her handler's death by Mackay Thakin. So now we are proceeding towards our today's lecture. First go through your diary. We have to read page number 4 and 3. Then we have to do our classwork, answer and questions of page number 7. Your home task will be reading of page number 3 and 4 again and again. We have to deal with the introduce different kinds of writing, fiction and biographical writing, understand the meanings of and interpret the text. Identify and understand meanings of words and expressions from the text. Read unit number 1, page 3 to 30 thoroughly. Currently, we are dealing with the Revenge by Amitabh Ghosh. This is the content of your story. We have deal with the paragraph number 1 and 2. Now we are going to read about the paragraph number 3. This being the case, the Seen Oak has decided not to allow Shodo to forage through the night, as was the rule. Seen Oak, the handler of the elephant, Shodo, decided not to leave him alone in the jungle to forage, for it means to find food for herself. This was the rule, that all the handlers leave the elephants alone in the jungle to forage through all the night, so that they might not feel hungry and don't create any panic attitude towards the handler. So now, as was the rule, it was decided that he is not gonna leave her alone in the jungle. Instead, he had led her to a clearing some half-mile distance from the camp and supplied her. Instead, Sinok had decided to supply her with a pile of succulent tree top branches, with a pile of great, tender, juicy, tasty tree top branches, so she might not feel hungry at the moment. Then he had tethered her. Tethered means to tie with a rope or chain that restricts the movement of the elephant. He had tethered her securely between the two immense and immovable trees to be doubly sure of keeping her bound, to be doubly sure, to be doubly conscious of keeping her tied over there. He had not used the usual lightweight fetters, chain or a manacle used to restrain a prisoner, typically placed around the ankles, with which elephants are shackled at night. Shackle means chain with a shackle, restrain, limits. But the heavy iron towing chains that are employed in the harnessing of logs, instead of the light ropes, light fetters, handler tied him up with a heavy iron towing chain that are employed in the harnessing of logs. This is, he said, was a precaution. That was a precaution for her. Paragraph number 4. A precaution against what? I asked. He gave me a sidelong glance, look, and said in a soft, slippery voice, just a precaution. There now remained in the camp only the Seen Oak and me, and of course Mackay Thakin in his style. Mackay Thakin was in his house, and only the Seen Oak and the narrator was there. It had not rained much through the day, but with the approach of evening clouds had begun to mass in the sky. There was the weather like to be rain now, and by the time I blew my lamp out and rolled out my mat pouring down, the thunder went pealing back. A storm was coming over there. Great thunder was peeling to lift something away from the surface. It was a very strong thunder that was taking away the things here and there. From across the valleys, I had been asleep perhaps an hour or two when I was woken by a trickle of water leaking through the bamboo roof. Leaking through the bamboo roof. So this was it, that he was actually narrating the story over there, that what was happening there. Paragraph number 5. I was almost asleep when through the chatter of the rain I heard a tiny fragile sound, a distant tinkling. It was far away by approaching steadily as it drew nearer, and I recognized the unmistakable ringing of an elephant's bell. Do you hear that? I whispered to the Sino, what is it? He actually listened something tinkling over there from a distance. It is a cow, Shudo, and Usi knows an elephant by its bell. Usi always put the elephants with the bell, by its bell. It is by following that sound that he locates his mount every morning after its night-long foraging in the forest. Why they put the bell in the elephant? Because they left the elephants for foraging all the night, and in the morning he can find out the elephant with the bell tinkling. Perhaps I ventured Shudo was panicked by the storm. Shudo was scared by the strong winds and noises of the storm. Perhaps she managed to break loose of her fetters. She managed to loose off her chains. If she had broken loose, the Seanox said, the chains would still be dragging on her feet. He paused to listen, but I hear no chains are there. If it's Shudo, then she must come along with the chain. But I hear no chains over there. No, she has been freed by a human hand. She must be freed by a human hand. But whose could that hand be? I asked. He silenced me abruptly with a raised hand. The bell was very close now, and the hut was shivering to the elephant's tread. I started to move towards the ladder, but the Sino pulled me back, and no, he said, stay here. You have to stay here. This was the story about how the elephant is over there. So we'll move on for the next lecture. You have to read it again. This lecture is over. Take care. Have a good day.